I want to talk about family vacations and crazy things happening on them to make them even more memorable. I'm going to tell you about a story with Mediterranean jellyfish that happened to us when we were in Italy.
Mom,
Excuse me, Mom. Mom, excuse me. Mom, excuse me, Mom.
Welcome to Next Stop Crazy Town. This is Juliette Hahn, and I am the host of this weekly pod. I'm going to be sharing with you guys a little glimpse of my crazy world. I'm a mom of 3, and I have 2 crazy boxer dogs. I will have guests some weeks, and some weeks it will just be me, but I will always be talking about uncomfortable things that have happened to me before motherhood or during motherhood. I just want you to know that you are not alone in this crazy world. Things happen that people don't like to talk about. But guess what? I do. I cannot wait for you guys to join me every week just to get a little laugh. So last summer, we rented our beach house, we packed up, and we went overseas. There's so many different stories that I want to tell you, but I'm going to tell you a specific one. And there'll be some more podcasts on this because we went to a number of different countries. We had a number of different funny, crazy experiences. But one of our favorites was we were in Italy, in Sorrento, and we went on a chartered boat. So it was just us. We had an awesome captain. His name was Gaetano. It was just the most gorgeous, amazing experience. And he would just drop us in different places and we would swim and, go to certain beaches. And we went to lunches that he recommended. We went to a lunch that he recommended. We even went to a dinner the one night because we had the boat the whole day. So there was this one particular spot that he said, because we wanted to see like more what the locals would see, not more of the tourist stuff. So he dropped us in this spot. He said, all right, I have to move the boat back a little bit because I can't go too close to the shore. So I'm going to drop you guys. And then I'll come back and I'll be out and I'll be able to see, kind of watch you guys to make sure when you want to come back in. So the kids and I and Dan, my kids are fearless. We just, jumped off. We had, I think each kid had a noodle and we all had snorkeling goggles on. And as we went in, Penelope said, Mom, I think I keep seeing jellyfish. And I was like, no, I'm sure it's fine. Just let's keep going in. And so we get to the shore. We were looking at the rocks. There were locals there. I mean, it was the most spectacular, gorgeous sea. There was, the color was just, insane. And then if just picture it. So we're in a cove with, it's a rocky beach, but all these amazing old buildings above us because you're down deep because the way that the, Amalfi Coast is everything, the roads are all at the top. So if you look up, you're just looking up at mountains. I mean, it literally was the most spectacular place we ever went. So as we were going, there was, a bunch of teenagers. We actually was a beach of teens and they were all, snorkeling and playing and fooling around. And so we had swum around enough. And then Penelope's like, Mom, I definitely saw a jellyfish. I would like to go back. And Dan had said, he's like, I'm going to go back in like 5 minutes. And he was kind of over on the one side. The kids and I were I was on one side, but Penelope came and swam over to me. And then I said to the boys, I think Penelope and I are going to go back. Why don't we all go back? And Dan is kind of swimming and leisurely going. So the boys were like, okay. And Penelope's like, I definitely saw jellyfish. And we were all like, I think it's fine. It's fine. So as we start swimming through, I get stung. Now, I don't know if you've ever been stung by a Mediterranean jellyfish. And it had tentacles. Okay. So it literally almost stung. It like burned my body. And I was like, holy shit. But I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to alert Penelope. But the boys, Truman's like, wait, I just definitely saw a jellyfish. And it had a lot of tentacles. And I was like, okay, everyone get close. Now Dan's ahead of us. So he doesn't know any of this is happening. And Gaetano is in the boat, like standing, getting ready to pull up a little bit, but he can't get in. This is like probably a mile of a swim. And the kids are like now kind of on top of me, like close, because I'm like, get close. And there's jellyfish everywhere. Now, when I say everywhere, I am not kidding. Tentacles and jellyfish. And I am obviously trying not to panic, but I'm like, okay, I just felt that. This is going to be terrible. Okay, so I know this is supposed to be a funny, light podcast, but if you can just picture the scene. Okay, so Dan's off swimming. I now see jellyfish, get stung by jellyfish, but don't want the kids to be completely alerted by it. And now we start swimming, and now Truman's like, oh, Mom, I just got stung. And Penelope's like, does it hurt? Does it hurt? And I'm like, I'm looking at him with like death eyes. And he's like, no, it's okay. It's okay. And then Montgomery gets stung. And he's like, oh, I just got stung on the leg. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, stop. And Penelope's now starting to be like, wait, does it hurt? I'm really scared. And I was like, no, honey, it's fine. It's fine. Now I see a jellyfish coming for Truman's face. I swat it, get burned in the hand and are stung in the hand. And as I get stung in the hand, the jellyfish kind of goes down my body and stings me. And I have a bikini on all down my legs, my torso. And there's more coming. So I'm swatting them at Montgomery's getting it. Penelope is literally on my back. But the one thing about the Mediterranean Sea, okay, and I am a strong swimmer, but as the time went on, I realized because of the Mediterranean Sea, the salt, I was, able to kind of keep float. And we had just two noodles, but kids that are like hanging on my arms. And I'm like, guys, you can't hang on my arms. And they're like, okay, we'll swim close to you. I mean, this was last summer. So the boy, the kids were 13. Montgomery actually turned 14 in Rome, which is amazing. Truman had just turned 12 and Penelope was 9. So she doesn't turn until September. So they were young, but old, and nervous because we're now in the middle, I wouldn't say middle, but we're in the Mediterranean Sea swimming. And we see Dan get up on the boat and the kids start or not the kids, Penelope's like, Dad. And he's like looking and all of a sudden the Coast Guard comes and you see our captain, Gaetano, talking and start moving back. And Penelope's like, wait, they're moving the boat. As this entire time, we're getting stung by jellyfish, okay? And trying not to make a big deal. So every time it hit me, I was like, I got it in the neck. I probably got 13 to 14 stings. I think Montgomery and Truman each probably had between 5 and 8. And Penelope had 3, little bird. Oh, it hurt. It hurt. It hurt. But as I said to Gaetano, when we finally got on the boat, it's not like childbirth. I can get through it. So anyways, let me take you back. So we see Dan get up. Penelope's like, they're taking the boat. And she starts screaming, Daddy. And she can see Dan looking and Dan, then I see talking to Gaetano, who's then now talking to the Coast Guard. And I'm like to the boys, just kind of wave your arms, but we don't need to freak out. I got this. It's getting a little bit clearer. The jellyfish are not as much, but just kind of, wave your hand a little bit. So they are waving a little bit, but we want to keep swimming because we're going through the jellyfish. So they're coming from behind now and from the sides and from the front. So I'm like, just keep moving. So I just kept moving. I didn't want to I didn't want to wave my hands or do anything like that. So I'm swimming. Penelope's on my back. I'm holding a noodle. Truman and Montgomery have noodles. And I could see Dan definitely moving his hands okay, there's something going on because Penelope has screamed now a couple times Daddy, jellyfish, Daddy. So finally I see the Coast Guard okay, wave him in. He comes and gets us. He's like, we have to leave though. I'm going to get a ticket because we can't go that far in. So as we're climbing up, first of all, the jellyfish, when you get stung by a Mediterranean jellyfish, there are tentacles. There's welts that it leaves. Okay. So I have welts all over my body, pretty much on my legs. I have one on my hip, on my arms, my chest. Did not have any on my face. The kids didn't have any on their face, but they have it. Well, Gaetano was like, oh my God. He felt so bad. He's giving the kids Oreo cookies. He has the spray. He's spraying us. We did not pee on each other. And I can't believe that I wasn't the one that's like, hey, I'm going to pee on you or someone pee on me because that takes the jellyfish sting away from what you always heard as a kid, But I didn't. And I can't believe it because afterwards people are like, you didn't. And I'm like, no, it actually really hurt. And it was a kind of a scary situation to have 3 of my kids in the middle, or not in the middle. I keep saying in the middle. But if you picture this, we were out really far. And Dan's like, oh my God, I didn't know. And I was like, honey, you wouldn't have known. But Montgomery looked at him. He's like, ditch your Dan. Your family's getting killed by jellyfish. And you're on the boat, doo. Oh, hey guys. So we, of course, did not let him down. We made sure he remembered that all the time. He felt terrible. He's like, I had no idea. And I was like, it's fine. He's like, everyone was good. We're not helicopter parents and our kids can swim well. I obviously was in the vicinity of them and he knew that. So he trusts me. But it was pretty insane. It was pretty insane. And I have to tell you, I still have 3 scars because one of the one that I knocked out of, away from Truman, I scooped it down. So then it went into on my hip, but it stayed there. So it burnt my skin. So I literally have burnt like a burn mark. But we did later, because Penelope's like, I am not going back in that water. And I was like, oh, but you are, because it was right in the beginning. So he's like, I promise I will take you to a different spot. So of course, we went to a different spot, and I was like, I'll jump in first to see. Dan's like, I'll do it. I was like, no, you clearly can't see jellyfish. Or the other thing is, the kids were saying, like, you're swimming, and as you're swimming, you're like pushing them back at us. So you're like leisurely swimming, but your like arms and stuff are like pushing the jellyfish back at us. So I was like, I'll jump in, and because I don't know that you saw them really well, and make sure. So we now were in the middle, which was spectacular. I mean, just dark ocean. I jump in. I'm looking around. I'm like, but you can see because the sun's coming in, so you can see. I was like, no jellyfish. So all three and Dan, everyone got back in the water, which I was so proud of them, because I get it. It was definitely, I was like, when I jumped in, I was like, oh, please, Lord. And Gaetano was like, I can see there's usually no jellyfish here. I guess he's like, that's very not normal that they were in the spot that happened to. I mean, he felt so terrible. So then I had my limoncello, and we had orange cello, and I was all good. Has that ever happened to you guys? I would love to hear of like a story where you could have panicked. That's the thing. I did not panic, and I was really proud of myself. But afterwards, because of course I told the story 1,000 times, Montgomery kept going, you just want to tell everyone how strong you are and how you saved your kids and that you're the strongest swimmer in the best shape. And it was really funny, because I did kind of say that. I'm like, I'm such a strong swimmer. I was really impressed with myself. I think it did have a lot to do with the salt, condensity, or whatever that word is, of the Mediterranean, or the salt makeup, I should say. So, okay. Do you guys have anything ever happened like that to you? Email me at Juliet, Juliet, at nextstopcrazytown.com. Okay, guys, I am looking for coaches for my virtual health and fitness team. If you are at any point in your life that you're like, I need to make extra money, or you need something more, you feel like you're not completely fulfilled, or you have your own fitness and nutrition goals that you can't keep straight because you don't have the accountability and you need tons, becoming a virtual health and fitness coach, people count on you. I train the entire team. We do weekly meetings. You can either make this like a huge business, you can make it a part-time job, but I help you figure out where you want to make this business grow, and I will help you be successful in any of the goals that you want to do. So if you are interested in learning more about my virtual health and fitness coaching, please email me at Juliet, Juliet, LYF3, the number, at gmail.com. Okay, guys, if you liked what you heard, please share my podcast, get it out to your friends, rate and review. And I have one quote that I think is pretty funny about vacations. It is not the destination where you end up, but the mishaps and memories you create along the way. And I so believe that. That's one of the things on that trip that we went. When I say we were in Europe for almost a month, it was unbelievable. And the things that happened that were like almost comical, but we're like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. One being the, Mediterranean jellyfish attack, but so many things that the kids will never forget about. I'm so fortunate that we as a family were able to do that, and love family trips because of the memories. All right, guys, have a great one. I hope you liked this episode of Next Stop Crazy Town. If you liked what you heard, please subscribe to my channel, share with your friends, and join in every week. For more information, check out nextstopcrazytown.com.